as a free agent this offseason, and most teams just sat on their hands and said, we're good. Well, fast forward to week 8, and Lamar Jackson is talking about him breaking the all-time rushing record. Take a listen.
It's there. Like, I feel like he has a great chance of achieving that. I think he can do it.
Okay, Brew, here's the numbers. So he's on pace to break Eric Dickerson's record if he can keep up this, pace of running. So, are you buying that he can break the record?
What's this? There might be 2 records broken this season. The rushing record. And how many times can I be right this season about running backs?
It's true.
Tony Pollard, they die for him in Dallas right
Tony
now.
I didn't know you were going to Tony Pollard stuff.
Saquon Barkley balling out in Philadelphia.
2 for 2.
And Derrick Henry.
So we're not, Brew, so we're not even, let me just hit it then, because we're clearly not even doing this to talk about Derrick Henry. We're just doing a Nick Wright version of the Trevor Trash Show.
What is this? Nick knew this was coming.
Trying to do. You guys, the whole reason this is in the show is because you guys are trying to make fun of me because I don't tend to believe in old running backs.
Yeah.
And this appears to be the year of the old running backs. So go ahead. Greg, you see my fastidious prep? Here's what it says under the Derrick Henry thing. Har, 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 mock Nick. That's all I've written down. So go ahead.
Put me up to that. Wiles put me up to that, fed me lines and everything. So
exactly.
I actually think it is a really good, serious discussion. I think my fear, but I feel like the thing that could hold him back is he may not get enough carries. Like, he's only averaging 19 carries a game. He's only on pace for 325 carries. Everybody on that list, everybody that's run for 2,000 yards a year has gone at least 330 carries. Now, if he averages 6.5 yards a game the rest of the season, which, you got to worry about Lamar and they got a passing game, so maybe. But it's hard for me to think he's going to average 6.5 yards a carry this year if he has to keep breaking these long runs, because obviously he has some 2-yard, 3-yard runs too. So I would say probably not. I think he can get close to 2,000, but I just don't know if they're going to give it to him enough to have enough carries.
I actually think he can get it done. If Lamar in the passing game continues to play at the level that they're playing, he doesn't need all those carries because he's going to break those long runs. And then once the weather shifts, I just don't believe that they're going to be dropping back, throwing the ball all around the way that they are right now. They're going to probably lean more into being more Derrick Henry-centric and allowing their running game to be established earlier rather than after the passing game.
Do you think they'll be – I wonder, too, are they going to give it to him that much because they want to save it for
that was going to be my answer. The Ravens fans shouldn't want him to. He already has a 2,000-yard season.
Right. Yeah.
And if he beats it by 15 yards, I won't be one of those people. But do you know what you're going to start hearing a bunch of? It was a 16-game season. Now it's a 17-game season. And people will be like, well, OJ did it in 14 games. And then we just do this whole thing. So it's not even like this is a really – obviously, it's an important record.
He might win MVP if he broke it.
Correct. But I just think –
that would be interesting.
Yes, but I just think – for the Ravens, I think the Ravens hope to be in a position where they can sit him for a game or two. Not consecutively, but you know what I mean?
4-time All-Pro who has been hampered this year by knee injuries, a knee injury, and Will Levis, joins the Chiefs for a 5th-round pick. Here's D-Hop's numbers with the Titans. 8 total touchdowns. This year, only 1. Nick, your reaction to the new addition?
Well, listen, my reaction is this is why Brett Veach is the best GM in football, and this is why the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Because while the rest of the league can overpay for guys of a similar caliber, and while NFL media can talk about Cooper Kupp can be had for the low price of a 2nd-round pick, and he'll throw in his multiple ankle surgeries to go along with it. And Cooper Kupp's a great player who, unfortunately, you know what I mean, his body has betrayed him in a serious way the last few years. The Chiefs say, nah, we'll give you a 5th. Well, let's be honest, it'll be a 4th because the condition is make the Super Bowl, and we're going to do that for a guy who will just seamlessly fit into the role Rashee Rice was doing. You guys know I don't like older receivers, and I certainly don't like expensive.
31, right?
Exactly.
31 he's 32.
He's 32, and he's 32. He's the same draft class as Travis Kelce, but he's going to be making no money. It's a dozen game plus the Super Bowl run, so call it a 15-game commitment, and we know exactly what DeAndre is going to be doing. And it is because they don't panic and because they address a need without mortgaging the future that they can have the youngest defense in football also be the best defense in football. And listen, Brew, the Chiefs have a pretty good thing going, which is every year they scan the landscape and they say, hey, is there a wide receiver out there that is with a terrible organization with no quarterback? Would you like to come here for pennies on the dollar? And you know what we'll throw in? You get to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl and break a Super Bowl record. And 2 years ago, they scanned the landscape and said, Kadarius Toney, come on down. And he did. And he has the record for longest punt return in Super Bowl history and scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. And last year, they scanned the landscape and they said, old friend McCole Hardman, are you wallowing away with the New York Jets? Why don't you come on down? And he did, and in the Super Bowl, he scored a touchdown and has the record for the only overtime touchdown in Super Bowl history. So this year, it'll be DeAndre Hopkins, who will, as a cherry on top of a Hall of Fame career, will get to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl, win a championship, and the Chiefs will give up the 124th pick of the draft for the pleasure of it. That's what it is.
Well, look, Brett Veach is great, obviously, but you left out a few names. The defense obviously is great. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Sure.
That's the thing. And DeAndre Hopkins obviously is not what he used to be, but when you put him in that offense, he's going to be productive. He's still, I think, better than Juju. And Juju, a couple weeks ago, had 8 catches for 130 yards.
And Juju's hurt now. Yep.
Yeah, so I think he will be productive. He will not be Rashee Rice.
No.
Rashee Rice was playing at a Pro Bowl level, if not higher, and leading the yards or right up there in yards after the catches. And that's not D-Hop.
No, I meant he just was going to play that role, the slot receiver.
Right, but he won't be taking that chip and taking it 30 extra yards, but he will be effective. And, yeah, they got better. They got better. I don't think a three-peat's guaranteed. You got to play the games, but they got better, and that's why I want to speak to my team.
Wow.
The Ravens. Don't stand pat.
Oh.
You just saw the Chiefs made a power move. Now you need to make a power move. This I don't even think would qualify as a power move, but I'm going to throw out Jadeveon Clowney. Go get him. He's wallowing in Carolina right now. They should be sending everybody out. Jadeveon was good for the Ravens last year, helped their pass rush, had 9.5 sacks. Go get him. They still get to the quarterback pretty well, but they'd be better with him. And maybe if you could, I don't know if you can get a defensive back.
I've got one for you. Do you have a name? Because I've got one.
I don't have a name.
No, listen, I think for the right price, listen, I'm in a charitable mood. The Ravens need the help. It's fine.
I don't know if it's serious.
No, I'm being dead serious. Because it's a guy I'd like the Chiefs to go after because Jalen Watson just broke his ankle. You know, that was the injury this weekend for the Chiefs, their number 2 corner. Marshawn Lattimore. Who's excellent in New Orleans, and their cap situation is in shambles. And so I think he might be available for a price richer than the Chiefs would be willing to pay, but Baltimore might pay it.
But
so, yeah,
that's the thing, though, real talk. Like, if you're the Ravens, and obviously you're having a good year, that's the team you got to beat. They just got better in the area that you're most challenged in, which is your pass defense. Yeah. They got better throwing the football with D-Hop.
Bro.
So go do something. Mahomes, I don't know if he'll have this type of year again, and you got to go ahead and try to win it now while he's not playing at his ultimate level. We'll see if he does with D-Hop.
Do you think the Chiefs are done making moves? It's really, like you said, one big wide receiver.
I think that I think that they might look for a corner. The defense has been great, but the corner position got thin when they when they traded Snead. McDuffie, I think, is in the discussion to be the best corner in football. Pat Surtain's in that discussion. I'm not saying it's Sauce. It's still in that discussion, but he's in the mix. But Jalen Watson was very good, and if you were, I don't know if people how locked in to the end of the Niners game was, once he went out, they immediately attacked Najee Johnson, a 7th-round pick from 3 years ago. That's who Cowing made the big catch on. And so I think that's on the board because that could be a actual need for them. But as far as what this allows, by the time the games start mattering, I believe the Chiefs are going to be trotting out the following skill position guys. Obviously, Mahomes is going to be the quarterback. Pacheco will